Okay, so what's your name?
Taylor Gunsolly.
Okay. And what brought you down to Occupy Louisville?
Well, I was at an action getting arrested in front of D.C. In the beginning of September, and I heard about Occupy Louisville, but didn't realize it was they were going to stay there. I thought it was a one-day thing, and I obviously couldn't make it to New York from here. Once I did find out, I was very intrigued and wanted to go. And then once I found out there was something going on in Louisville, there was no stopping me.
So are you from Louisville? Or
I'm not from Louisville originally. I have been here for about 6 or 7 years. I go to U of L. I'm a philosophy major there. And people really, I just want to change the world. That's all I know that I'm trying to do, and that's why I'm here, is to change the current situation and situations that we have in this country and in this world directly based on this country and how we behave here.
So how long have you been here? Have you been camping out?
I've been here every day since we started.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you're obviously pretty committed to it. What are some of the issues that you think are that are the most important to you?
The first and foremost is the environment. Without the environment, we cannot do anything else that we want to do on this planet. If we destroy the environment, everything else goes to shit. Secondly would be corporate ties to government and how corporations are controlling what goes on in this country. Education, healthcare. To me, it's every single facet, every single aspect of our society that we look at. We can see corruption at this point, whether it, as I said it before, food, education, politics. Every one of them are starting to come to light as very corrupt, and it leaves the 99% powerless.
So I think that is a common theme that runs through almost all of the issues that people have talked to me about, but not always articulated, and maybe not always understood as corruption. They see it as corporate influence,
right.
And which is a nice word for corruption.
Right.
What is the answer to that? Why is this a problem now, and was it less of a problem before? What's happened?
I don't know that it wasn't going. I'm fairly sure that it was going on before, but I think people have been way too complacent, and with all this new technology, it's becoming much easier to not only find out that the corruption is there, but to get that to the masses. Documentaries have been a huge thing for me as far as learning about this corruption. I've watched probably over 50 or 60 documentaries on a wide variety of topics. And I'm not saying that those are all right or I agree with everything they say, but it starts the conversation. And once you do start that conversation and start to question, it's easy to see that what we're being told is not necessarily the truth.
It seems to me that corruption, when we think of the word corruption, we usually think of an individual accepting money to do something, whereas now we have almost a concept of institutionalized corruption, where the corruption itself has been legalized and made a part of the system.
I completely agree. I cannot fault any CEO or any of these corporations for doing what they do, because as a corporation, the only obligation that you have, and this is a legal obligation, is to continue profit growth for your stockholders. So we cannot sit here and hate a CEO or try to criticize a CEO because he's doing exactly what his job is, and that corporation is doing exactly what it's designed to. I would use the analogy of a shark. A shark is made to kill. A corporation is made to make money. And public health care, morals. That's not a legal obligation for them. That's not an obligation for them at all. But making that money is. So it is very institutionalized, and as I said, it's what they're made to do.
Robert Reich had a book a couple of years ago called Super Capitalism, and one of the points he made was that all of us have three roles in the world. We're all investors. So, we benefit one way or another from investments. We're all labor or workers. We all work, and we're all citizens. Or I guess it was we're all investors, we're all consumers, and we're all citizens. And his point was that in order for the consumers to get good prices, the consumer part of us to get good prices, and the investor part of us to get good profits, the citizen part of us and the civic responsibility part of us has been left by the wayside. Does that resonate?
I haven't read that book. It does resonate. I think this directly touches on education, and this is something I was telling gentlemen before, is that I go to U of L, and I feel that one of the reasons I'm here is to fight against where our education system has come as far as elementary, middle school, high school, and higher education, because we're not being taught to be free-thinking, autonomous human beings. We're being educated for domestication, meaning we're being educated for training to go into the job workforce and to not really question where we're at in society and not question why we continue to consume all the things we do not need. So that does resonate with me, because it's not an accident. It's not just a coincidence, and it's not even necessarily an individual conscious process that you say the consumer and the consumer and the investor has to be much higher than the citizen in me. It's not an accident. This is on purpose, and it's embedded in our society at this point.
How is the occupation movement? How do you think the occupation movement is going to be able to address some of these things? What are the mechanics for taking the mass interest in the movement and obviously how it resonates with everybody into political action?
I think the largest way that we make that a political action is our process. Our process is our message. We are here together using a form of direct democracy, and that is the message. We separate ourselves from every other species on this planet using our rationality. And every one of us here are rational human beings that have something to offer to what we are trying to create. And that is the message that we're trying to spread across the masses, is that you do deserve to have your voice heard. And how that manifests itself is the actions that we take in going through this process of direct democracy.